Samsaradava Tranayakarunya Gana Ganatvam Samsarada Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditramadya Manasorasenam Romanchakampa Shrutarangabhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Shringaratanmandiramarjanado Yuktasya Bhakta Shaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasado Swadana Triptam Haribhakta Sangha Krutvaiva Triptim Bhajatat Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayoraparo Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamnam Pratikshanaśva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunjayono Ratikeli Siddhai Yayalibhiyu Nirapekshaniya Tatratitakshya Ativallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Sakshat Haritvenam Samasta Shastrai Uktastatha Vanyatayeva Sadbhi Kintu Prabhoya Priyayeva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi Dhyayan Stuvantasya Yasya Trisandhya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादह्लाददायिने हिरण्याकाशे पूर्वक्षः शिलाठङ्कान खालाये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहामदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरेणाखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गादलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे। जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय। प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद। वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यव्रत्यै नमो नमः नमो नमः। तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी नमो नमः। राधा कृष्ण सेवा पावो यही अभिलाषी नमो नमः। तुलसी कृष्ण प्रेयसी ये तो मारा शरण लोय तरा वंच पूर्ण हो कृपा करी करो तारे वृंदावनवासी मोरा ये अभिला विलास कुंजे दियोवा नयने हेरिबो सदा जुगल रूपरासी ऐ निवेदना धरो सखीरनुगत करो सेवाधि करो दिए करो निज दासी। दीन कृष्ण दास कोई ऐ जना मोरे हो श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा जना भासी। यानि कानि च पापनि ब्रह्म हत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। वृंदाय तुलसी। Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavrate Namo Vrindadevi Shrimati Tulsi Maharani. Shall I read Srimad Bhagavatam, Guru Maharaj?
Last week that's all down.
Sixth canto. Guru Maharaj? Nitya Krishna Prabhu, yes, Guru Maharaj. Morning I met him. Yes, Guru Maharaj. We last year we went to Kurukshetra together, Guru Maharaj. He's staying in the guest house. I met him in that. Guru Maharaj? He's in the temple room, Guru Maharaj. Shall I call? Sure, Guru Maharaj. I'll come. Okay, Guru Maharaj. I'll come. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Yes, Guru.
Yeah, yes, we met last year.
Okay.
Yes. You're still younger than all of us. She's doing very good now. She's all settled and she's doing really well. So everything is doing good. Yes. I'll discuss with him also because he's aware of her situation. So. Yes. Yes, I'll go on January 4th. I'm taking my mother. She has 2 more months of treatment there. She's responding very well to the treatment. January 4th, yeah. 3rd night, late night, yeah, my father's here. He'll stay here, and he'll come back in May to the US. But he'll stay here. Yes, Yes, very good. Yes, I love you so much. You guys doing good, Vermont, with your blessings. These are. Yes, he's there for quite a long time. After a long time, he has not come. Yeah, after the installation.
First time.
Yeah. Amazing. Yes.
Guru Maharaj. Ready? Nitya Krishna. Text number 49. What am I saying?
Text number 49. Those who think material assets to be everything or to be the ultimate goal of life are called misers, kripanas. They do not know the ultimate necessity of the soul. Moreover, if one awards that which is desired by such fools, he must be considered foolish. Purport. There are 2 classes of men, namely the kripana and the brahmana. A brahmana is one who knows Brahman, the absolute truth, and who thus knows his real interest. A kripana, however, is one who has a material bodily concept of life. Not knowing how to utilize his human form or demigod life, a kripana is attracted by things created by material modes of nature. The Kripanas, who always desire material benefits, are foolish, whereas Brahmanas, who always desire spiritual benefits, are intelligent. If a Kripana, not knowing his self-interest, foolishly asks for something material, one who awards it to him is also foolish. Krishna, however, is not a foolish person. He is supremely intelligent. If someone comes to Krishna asking for material benefits, Krishna does not award him the material things he desires. Instead, the Lord gives him intelligence so that he will forget his material desires and become attached to the Lord's lotus feet. In such cases, although the Kripana offers prayers to Lord Krishna for material things, the Lord takes away whatever material possessions the Kripana has and gives him the sense to become a devotee. As stated by the Lord in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22:39, Ami vigna e mukhe vishaya kena diva swachanamrita divya vishaya bahuliva. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Instead, I shall induce him to take to the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget the illusory material enjoyment. If one sincerely prays to God for material possessions in exchange for devotional service, the Lord, who is not foolish like such unintelligent devotee, shows him special favor by taking away whatever material possessions he has and gradually giving him the intelligence to be satisfied only by rendering service to the lotus feet. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this regard that if a foolish child requests his mother to give him poison, the mother, being intelligent, will certainly not give him poison, even though he requests it. The materialist does not know what to accept, that to accept material possessions means to accept poison, or the repetition of birth and death. An intelligent person, a Brahmana, aspires for liberation from material bondage. That is the real self-interest of the human being. Text 50. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat foods injurious to the health, even if the patient desires it. Purport. Here is the difference between the benedictions awarded by the demigods and those awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Devotees of the demigods ask for benedictions simply for sense gratification, and therefore they have been described in Bhagavad Gita 7:20 as bereft of intelligence. Kameste taistate hitta jnana prapadbadyanten devataha tam tam niyanam ashtaya prakriti niyata swaya. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender into the demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Conditioned souls are generally bereft of the intelligence because of profound desires for sense gratification. They do not know what benediction to ask. Therefore, non-devotees are advised in Shastras to worship various demigods to achieve material benefits. For example, if one wants a beautiful wife, he is advised to worship Uma, or goddess Durga. If one wants to be cured of a disease, he is advised to worship the sun god. All requests for benedictions from the demigods, however, are due to material lust. The benedictions will be finished at the end of the cosmic manifestation, along with those who bestow them. If one approaches Lord Vishnu for benedictions, the Lord will give him a benediction that he will return back home, back to Godhead. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Desham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna instructs the devotee who constantly engages in his service how to approach him at the end of his material body. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam iti sorjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. This is the benediction of Lord Vishnu and Krishna. After giving up his body, a devotee returns home back to Godhead. A devotee may foolishly ask for material benedictions, but Lord Krishna does not give him such benedictions, despite the devotee's prayers. Therefore, people who are very attached to the material life do not generally become devotees of Krishna or Vishnu. Instead, they become devotees of demigods. The benediction of the demigods, however, are condemned in Bhagavad Gita. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. A non-Vaishnava who is not engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered a fool with a small quantity of brain substance. Text number 51. O Bhagavan, Indra, all good fortune unto you. I advise you to approach the exalted saint Danyacha, Dadichi. He has become very accomplished in knowledge, vows, and austerities, and his body is very strong. Go ask him for his body without delay. Purport. Everyone in this material world, from Lord Brahma down to the end, is eager to keep his body comfortable. A pure devotee may also be comfortable, but he is not eager for such benediction. Since Bhagavan, the King of Heaven, still aspired for a comfortable body situation, Lord Vishnu advised him to ask Dadyancha for his body, which was very strong due to knowledge, vows, and austerities. Text 52. That saintly Dadyancha, who is known as Dadichi, personally assimilated the spiritual science and then delivered it to the Ashwini Kumars. It is said that Dadyancha gave them mantras through the head of a horse. Therefore, the mantras are called Ashvashira. After obtaining the mantras of spiritual science from Dadichi, the Ashwini Kumars became Jivan Mukta, liberated even in this life. The following story is narrated by many acharyas in their commentaries. The great sage Dadichi had perfect knowledge of how to perform fruitive activities, and an advanced spiritual knowledge as well. Knowing this, the Ashwini Kumars once approached him and begged him to instruct them in the spiritual science, Brahma Vidya. Dadichi Muni replied, I am now engaged in arranging sacrifices for fruitive activities. Come back some time later. When the Ashwini Kumars left, Indra, the King of Heaven, approached Dadichi and said, My dear Muni, the Ashwini Kumars are only physicians. Please do not instruct them in spiritual science. If you impart the spiritual science to them, despite my warning, I shall punish you by cutting off your head. After warning Dadichi in this way, Indra returned to heaven. The Ashwini Kumars, who understood Indra's desire, returned and begged Dadichi for Brahma Vidya. The great saint Dadichi informed them of Indra's threat, and the Ashwini Kumars replied, Let us first cut off your head and replace it with the head of a horse. You can instruct Brahma Vidya through the horse's head. And when Indra returns and cuts off that head, we shall reward you and restore your original head. Since Dadichi had promised to impart Brahma Vidya to the Ashwini Kumars, he agreed to the proposal. Thus, because Dadichi imparted Brahma Vidya through the mouth of a horse, this Brahma Vidya is also known as Ashvashira. Text 53. Dadyancha's invincible protective covering, known as the Narayan Kavach, was given to Twashta, who delivered it to his son Vishwarup, from whom you received it. Because of the Narayan Kavach, Dadichi's body is now very strong. You should beg him for this body. Text 54. When the Ashwini Kumars beg for Dadyancha's body on your behalf, he will surely give it to you because of affection. Do not doubt this, for Dadyancha is very experienced in religious understanding. When Dadyancha awards you his body, Vishwakarma will prepare a thunderbolt from his bones. This thunderbolt will kill Vritasura, because it will be invested with my power. Text 55. When Vritasura is killed because of my spiritual strength, you will also regain your strength, weapons, and wealth. Thus there will be all good fortune for all of you. Although Vritasura can destroy all the three worlds, do not fear that he will harm you. He is also a devotee and will never be envious of you. Purport. A devotee of the Lord is never envious of anyone. What to speak of other devotees? As revealed later, Vritasura was also a devotee. Therefore, he was not expected to be envious of demigods. Indeed, of his own accord, he went to try to benefit the demigods. A devotee does not hesitate to give up his own body for a better cause. Chanakya Pandit has said, After all, one's material possessions, including his body, will be destroyed in due course of time. Therefore, if the body and other possessions can be utilized for a better cause, a devotee can never hesitate to give up even his own body. Because Lord Vishnu wanted to save the demigods, Vritasura, even though able to swallow the three worlds, would agree to be killed by the demigods. For a devotee, there is no difference between living and dying, because in this life, a devotee engages in devotional service, and after giving up his body, he engages in the same service in the spiritual world. His devotional service is never hindered. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 9th chapter, 6th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Appearance of Demon Vritasura. Chapter 10. The battle between the demigods and Vritasura. As described in this chapter, after Indra obtained the body of Dadichi, a thunderbolt was prepared from Dadichi's bones, and a fight took place between Vritasura and the demigods. Following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods approached Dadichi Muni and begged for his body. Dadichi Muni, just to hear from the demigods about the principles of religion, jokingly refused to relinquish his body. But for higher purposes, he thereafter agreed to give it up. For after death, the body is usually eaten by low animals, like dogs and jackals. Dadichi Muni first merged his gross body, made of 5 elements, into the original stock of 5 elements, and then engaged his soul at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of God. Thus he gave up his gross body. With the help of Vishwakarma, the demigods also then prepared a thunderbolt from Dadichi's bones. Armed with the thunderbolt weapon, they prepared themselves to fight and got up on the backs of elephants. At the end of the Satyuga and the beginning of Treta Yuga, a great fight took place between the demigods and the Asuras. Although unable to tolerate the effulgence of the demigods, the Asuras fled the battle, leaving Vritasura, their commander-in-chief, to fight for himself. Vritasura, however, seeing the demons fleeing, instructed them in the importance of fighting and dying on the battlefield. One who is victorious in battle gains material possessions, and one who dies in the battlefield attains a residence at once in the celestial heavens. In either way, the fighter benefits. Text number 1. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, after hearing Indra in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, then and there disappeared from the presence of the onlooking demigods. Text number 2. O King Parikshit, following the Lord's instructions, the demigods approached Dadichi, the son of Atharva. He is very liberal, and when they begged him to give him his body, he had once partially agreed. However, just to hear religious instructions from them, he smiled and jokingly spoke as follows. Text 3. O elevated demigods, at the time of death, severe unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entities who have accepted material bodies. Don't you know about this pain? Text 4. In this material world, every living entity is very much addicted to his material body. Struggling to keep his body forever, everyone tries to protect it by all means, even at the sacrifice of all of his possessions. Therefore, who would be prepared to deliver his body to anyone, even if it were demanded by Lord Vishnu? Purport. It is said, Atmanam sarvato dakshe tato dharmam tato dhanam. One must protect his body by all means, then he may protect his religious principles, and thereafter his possessions. This is the natural desire of all living entities. No one wants to give up his body unless it is forcibly given away. Even though the demigods said that they were demanding Dadichi's body for their benefit in accordance with the order of Lord Vishnu, Dadichi superficially refused to give them his body. Text number 5. The demigods replied, O exalted Brahmana, pious persons like you, whose activities are praiseworthy, are very kind and affectionate to people in general. Why can't such pious souls give for the benefit of others? They can give everything, including their bodies. Text number 6. Those who are too self-interested beg something from others, not knowing of others' pain. But if the beggar knew the difficulty of the giver, he would not ask for anything. Similarly, he who is able to give charity does not know the beggar's difficulty, for otherwise he would not refuse to give the beggar anything he might want as charity. Purport. This verse describes two people. one who gives charity and one who begs for it. A beggar should not ask charity from a person who is in difficulty. Similarly, one who is able to give charity should not deny a beggar. These are the moral instructions in Shastra. Chanakya Pandit says, Sa nibati varam tagyo vinashe niyati sati. Everything within this material world will be destroyed, and therefore one should use everything for good purposes. If one is advanced in knowledge, he must always be prepared to sacrifice anything for a better cause. At the present moment, the entire world is in a dangerous position under the spell of a godless civilization. The Krishna consciousness movement needs many exalted, learned persons who will sacrifice their lives to revive God consciousness throughout the world. We therefore invite all men and women advanced in knowledge to join the Krishna conscious movement and sacrifice their lives for the great cause of reviving the God consciousness of human society. Text number 7. The great sage Dadichi said, just to hear from you about religious principles, I refuse to offer my body at your request. Now, although my body is extremely dear to me, I must give it up for your better purposes, since I know that it will leave me today or tomorrow. Text number 8. O demigods, one who has no compassion for humanity in its suffering and does not sacrifice his impermanent body for the higher cause of religious principles of eternal glory is certainly pitied even by immovable beings. Purport. In this regard, a very exalted example was set by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan and the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Concerning Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.34, Tyaktva sudaschatya supreshta rajya lakshmim dharmishta arya vashad yad agad aryam maya mrigam daya pratistam andama vande mahapurusha te charanarvindam. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Lord, upon whom one should always meditate. He left his household in life, leaving aside his eternal consort, whom even the denizens of heaven adore. He went to the forest to deliver the fallen souls, who are put into illusion by material energy. To accept sannyas means to commit civil suicide, but sannyas is compulsory, at least for every brahmana, every first-class human being. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very young and beautiful wife and a very affectionate mother. Indeed, the affection and dealings of his family members were so pleasing that even the demigods could not expect such happiness at home. Nevertheless, for the deliverance of all the fallen souls of the world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and left home when he was only 24 years old. He lived a very strict life as a sannyasi, refusing all bodily comforts. Similarly, his disciples, the 6 Goswamis, were ministers who held exalted positions in society, but they also left everything to join the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srinivasacharya says, Tyaktva turnam ashesha mandalapati shrenim sadatu chavat bhutva dina ganeshako karunaya kopina kantashiko. These Goswamis left their very comfortable lives as ministers, zamindars, and learned scholars and joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, just to show mercy to the fallen souls of the world. Dina Ganesha Karunaya. Accepting very humble lives as mendicants, wearing no more than loincloths and torn quilts. Kopina Kanta. They lived in Vrindavan and followed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order to excavate Vrindavan's lost glories. Similarly, everyone else with a materially comfortable condition in this world should join the Krishna consciousness movement to elevate the fallen souls. The words Bhuta Dayaya, Maya Mrigam, Dayataya Pisitam, and Dina Ganesha Karanaya all convey the same sense. They are very significant words for those interested in elevating human society to a proper understanding of life. One should join the Krishna conscious movement following the examples of such great personalities as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis, and before them, the great sage Dadichi. Instead of wasting one's life in a temporary bodily comforts, one should always be prepared to give up one's life for a better cause. After all, the body will be destroyed. Therefore, one should sacrifice it for the glory of distributing religious principles throughout the world. Text number 9. If one is unhappy to see the distress of other living beings and happy to see their happiness, his religious principles are appreciated as imperishable by exalted persons who are considered pious and benevolent. Purport. One generally follows different types of religious principles or performs various occupational duties according to the body given to him by the modes of material nature. In this verse, however, real religious principles are explained. Everyone should be unhappy to see others in distress and happy to see others happy. Atmavat sarvabhuteshu. One should feel the happiness and distress of others as his own. It is on this basis that the Buddhist religious principle of non-violence, ahimsa parama dharma, is established. We feel pain when someone disturbs us, and therefore we should not inflict pain upon other living beings. Lord Buddha's mission was to stop unnecessary animal killing, and therefore he preached that the greatest religious principle is non-violence. One cannot continue killing animals at the same time be religious man. That is a great hypocrisy. Jesus Christ said, "Do not kill." But the hypocrites nevertheless maintain thousands of slaughterhouses while posing as Christians. Such hypocrisy is condemned in this verse. One should be very happy to see others happy, and one should be unhappy to see others unhappy. This is the principle to be followed. Unfortunately, at the present moment, so-called philanthropists and humanitarians advocate the happiness of humanity at the cost of the lives of poor animals. That is not recommended herein. This verse clearly says that one should be compassionate to all living entities, regardless of whether human, animal, tree, or plant. All living entities are the sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 14:4, Sarvayoneshu kontaya murtaya sambhavantaya tasham brahma muhadyonir aham bijaha pradaha pita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth into material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. The different forms of these living entities are only their external dresses. Every living being is actually a spirit soul, a part and parcel of God. Therefore, one should not favor only one kind of living being. A Vaishnava sees all living entities as part and parcel of God. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 5:18 and 18:54, Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahma Nega Vihaistini Shuni Chaiva Swapakacha Pandita Samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of knowledge, true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, and a dog eater, outcast. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashotati Nakankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labate Param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments, nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. A Vaishnava, therefore, is truly a perfect person because he laments to see others unhappy and feels joy at seeing others happy. A Vaishnava is para dukkha dukhi. He is always unhappy to see the conditioned souls in an unhappy state of materialism. Therefore, a Vaishnava is always busy in preaching Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Text number 10. This body, which is eatable by jackals and dogs, does not actually do any good for me, the spirit soul. It is usable only for a short time and may perish at any moment. The body and its possessions, its riches and relatives, must be engaged for the benefit of others, or else they will be sources of tribulation and misery. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, similar advice is also given in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:22-35. Etavad janma shapalam dehinam iha diheshu pranayir apher dihatvacha shrayam acharam sada. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. This is the mission of one's life. One's own body and the body of his friends and relatives, as well as one's own riches and everything else one has, should be engaged for the benefit of others. This is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 9:41. Bharata Bhumiti Haila Manushya Janmanjiyara Janma Sartakari Karapara Upakara. One who has taken birth as human beings in the land of Bharatvarsha, India, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. The word upakaryat means para upakar, helping others. Of course, in human society, there are many institutions to help others. But because philanthropists do not know how to help others, their propensity for philanthropy is ineffectual. They do not know the ultimate goal of life, Shreya Acharam, which is to please the Lord. If all philanthropic and humanitarian activities were directed towards achieving the ultimate goal of life, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they would all be perfect. Humanitarian work without Krishna is nothing. Krishna must be brought to the center of all activities. Otherwise, no activity will have value. Text number 11. Read the text. Text number, yes. Text number 11. No, sorry, text number 10.
Chapter?
Chapter number 10, Canto 6. 6, 10, 10.
Read again.
This body, which is eatable by jackals and dogs after death, does not actually do any good for me. The spirit soul, it is usable only for a short time and may perish at any moment. The body and its possessions, its riches and relatives, must be engaged for the benefit of others, or else it will be the source of tribulation and misery. Purport. Similar advice is also given in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. This is the mission of one's life. One's own body and the bodies of his friends and relatives, as well as one's own riches and everything else one has, should be engaged for the benefit of others. This is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 9:41, Bharata Bhumite Haila Manusya Janmayara Janma Sakara Karikara Para Upakara. One who has taken birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsha, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. The word upakarya means para upaka, helping others. Of course, in human society, there are many institutions to help others. But because philanthropists do not know how to help others, their propensity for philanthropy is ineffectual. They do not know that the ultimate goal of life, Shreya Acharam, which is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If all philanthropists and humanitarian activities were directed towards achieving the ultimate goal of life, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they would all be perfect. Humanitarian work without Krishna is nothing. Krishna must be brought to the center of all activities. Otherwise, no activity will have value. Text number 11. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, Dadichi Muni, the son of Atharva, thus resolved to give up his body to the service of the demigods. He placed himself, the spirit soul, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in this way gave up his gross material body made of 5 elements. Purports. As indicated by the words Pare Bhagavati Brahmya Atmanam Sanarinyam, Dadichi placed himself as spirit soul at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this regard, one may refer to the incident of Dhritarashtra's leaving his body, as described in 1st Canto Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.55. Dhritarashtra analytically divided his gross material body into 5 different elements of which it was made: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and distributed them to the different reservoirs of these elements. In other words, he merged these 5 elements into the original Mahatattva. By identifying his material conception of life, he gradually separated his spirit soul from the material connection and placed himself at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The example is given in this connection is that when an earthen pot is broken, the small portion of the sky within the pot is united with the large sky outside the pot. Mayavada philosophers misunderstanding this description of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Sri Ramanuja Swami, in his book called the Vedanta Tattva Sara, has described that his merging of the soul means that after separating himself from the material body made of 8 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, false ego, mind, and intelligence, The individual soul engages himself in devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sabra Karana Karanam. The material cause of the material element absorbs the material body, and the spiritual soul assumes the original position. As described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva Swarupaya Krishna Nityadas. The constitutional position of the living entity is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. When one overcomes the material body through cultivation of spiritual knowledge and devotional service, one can revive his own position and thus engage in the service of the Lord.
ठीक है ना, ठीक है ना, ना दो के बैठे क्या है, ना दो के जा रहा है, हाँ फिर ठीक है, ना दो अब ठीक, हेडसेट किसी को ना दिए मतलब पेट दिखे कुछ भी दिखे तो इधर इधर होने चाहिए
and no one knows actually what's the nature of this pollutant. He would accuse you. So in cooking utensils we have to has that chemical. That's why I don't know, in India still they are using it. It's very carcinogenic. And now it's called PFAS, perfluorochemicals. Mostly they are very non-stick utensils that most of us use. So eventually that releases and half-life is 800 years. That means it will not break down in any process. It will be used in the body forever. So my research was that most of my time. My PhD was in that groundwater. Yes, India is unless they detect it, obviously they will not. And they don't have any protocols, no guidelines. So India would be best, lot of money. To say, if we go and test in the water, we don't know. No, PFAS, it's a chemical generally present in mostly firefighting foams, these cooking utensils, carpets and those things also. So they use that, but now they ban. Last 2 to 3 years ago, US and all Western countries they ban. No more production of the chemical again. It's serious.
नहीं वहाँ तैयार हो जाइए ज़्यादा अंदर बनेंगे जो टाइम लगेगा
I'm doing Guru Puja today.
story that is
Yeah, so that. Wow, thanks for actually. Very intelligent. नरसिंहं विष्णुं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् ॐ गम्भीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं विष्णुं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युर्नमाम्यहम् ॐ गम्भीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Mukham Vishnum Mukham Narasimham Bhisanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Vidam Mahavishnu Sarvatam Sarvatomukham Singham Visanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Gambhiram Mahavishnu Sarvatam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhisanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Gambhiram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhisanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham Singham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham Singham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Om Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namamyaham. Shri Narasimha Jaya Shri Narasimha Jaya Padma Mukha Prasma Bhringam. Namo Shri Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha Krishna Seva Pava Yabhimasi Jitamanta Saranalaya Taravancha Purnaha Kari Kara Tare Vrindavanavasi.
आरती
Morae Abhilas Vilas Kunjatiwas Namo Sada Tugalaru Nivedana Dharo Chakirananda
कहे ये नमोरा श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेम सदा ये नवासी जया जगदीश
साथ में कौन है उधर? साथ में कौन?
कौन सा?
गुरु जी के साथ।
छोड़ के आ गया। आप छोड़ के आते, हम भी छोड़ के आ गए, हम भी शिष्य बनाए थे। आप देखो
कौन? अनंत राघव?
पता नहीं, हमारा आरती करना आ गया।